regarding the role of fundraising and student fees. What changes should the provincial government make to address this issue?
Two minutes.
2 minutes?
Yes.
It's a race. Okay. Funding for schools. That should be paid for by the ones using the service. Not everybody is using the service of schools. Students who pay for education, they buy it. Do they get a money back guarantee when they buy education? No. They get an imposed system that's being offered. So the system that's crashing because the money's no good is got to have another solution. To finance education comes from the pocket of the person with the money. Who has the money? Not us. So we got to find where the money is. It's actually in us. We got to go back to money to answer the question of funding the schools. We need competing monies, not just a monopoly by the government on one money. All the governments have different monopoly monies. We need the people's money, a variety of competing monies to offer solutions that can be created from the free market, not from a controlled market. The free market will find the solutions. We politicians don't have all the solutions, but you, the people, do. We have to implement your solutions. Thank you.
I thank you for the question, and as a former teacher, I relate to the situation described whereby people are constrained to afford education for the children. And I see two main causes for this. But first, I'd just like to give you a detail. Last year, Annie Kidder's group, People for Education, discovered that in 2009, people in Ontario raised over $500 million and contributed to the school system. Now that's a lot of bake sales, any way you cut it. And it's paying not just for extras like school trips, maybe to a museum in another city. That's paying for obligatory courses as well, like even English in some instances. So what happens is, instead of the school being a place where the playing field is leveled, it becomes a place where the stratification of society is simply reinforced, because the have schools do so much better than the have not schools. Now, every analysis of student achievement, ever since student achievement has been analyzed, shows that there's a direct correlation between poverty and difficulty in school. And so you have that paradigm working against kids, but then you have another one. There was a system put in place by the previous Conservative government called the funding formula, and it's been maintained by the current Liberal government. And what it does is it constrains the ability of the local school board to administer the funding that they get. It's like they're shackled, not being able to respond according to local conditions. So there's a lot wrong with the economy of the Ontario school system, and we are committed to restoring a level playing field in Ontario's schools.
Well, quite simply, I think it's the government's responsibility to fund the school system. And when you look at the track record for this Liberal government with respect to the system that they took over in 2003, schools were closing, the classrooms were in chaos, students lost something like, I don't know, 26 million days to strikes. This Liberal government has built schools, implemented a full-day kindergarten program, have more young people graduating from high school. And it's an interesting thing that my grandson, 4 years old, went to his first day of kindergarten this week. And I met him not only going out and everybody's been busy, I met him coming home, I had a chance to talk to him. And if he would have come home and told me that in kindergarten, kids were bullying him by calling him names, by referring to him as a raccoon sifting through the garbage, that type of language is just not appropriate. That type of language is just not appropriate. And when our kids get a good quality, good start in education, they grow up to become good, productive adults. And not only are they getting a strong start with the Liberal government, they're getting a strong finish. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I come from a family with 2 teachers and I guess another wannabe teacher in the family, so I see the work that the teachers do and how much effort and the supplies they take to school. First of all, I guess I wouldn't want to be somebody that would tell families and neighborhoods they can't raise funds for school. I think that volunteerism and sense of community is a lot about what Canada is about. And I think that a lot of our organizations depend on that type of work, and we want to see that develop as they grow older and see that, so many of our, especially our seniors services depend on volunteerism. We want to get that started when they're young. As far as mandatory fees, I don't believe in that. I think that there are some families that can't afford certain fees, that are having trouble as it is already. I think that we should take care of them. The government is there to take care of their education. It's our most precious commodity, and it's our future. We have to make sure it's there. I guess some things I'd like to do, and I look at some of the examples in different jurisdictions, the schools should become one of our hubs. It's a great place. I look around Ontario, and it's not something that's happened lately, but that's something happened over our history where we have our facilities developed around the schools, and they're used till 3:30 at night. That after that, we expect municipalities to develop their facilities, and they're used after 4. Really, what we should be looking at is developing hubs in the community where they're used all days. Spend our money and develop great facilities to develop our children, develop athletic facilities, things such as theaters and halls. The only way we can get full usage is to have it used during the day by the schools and at night by the community. Thank you.